And I've got Prabin with me on the phone today. Prabin, welcome.
Thank you, David. Great to be here.
Yeah, and we're really just talking about how to navigate what's going on right now. And rather than telling you to wash your hands and buy toilet paper, we're going to be talking about what business owners need to do to navigate the situation as it stands right now. So, Prabin, maybe just give people a bit of an understanding who you are and what you do.
Thank you, David. A little bit about myself. Many of you know, I'm Prabin Gautam, originally from Nepal. I help business owners or entrepreneurs to help business opportunity in creating more leads, more sales, and more opportunities. So we position ourselves as a trusted growth partner for any businesses.
Great. So look, during today's session, if anyone's got any questions or comments they'd like to make, please just jump into the chat box. And even if you can hear us, just let us know. That'd be awesome. Prabin, probably the first question, the obvious question is there's a lot of fear going on right now for business owners with the unknown. How are you, as a business owner, how are you handling that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt, David, fear is across, but it's with what I believe, it's again coming with the why. I am a core believer in why you do what you do. Yeah. And these days, especially, disruption is a new normal. That's what I believe on. So obviously in last, if you look back from November onward in Australia, especially, we have a bushfire and then obviously a floods and then now COVID-19. So pretty much, disruption is happening, and who knows, in future there may not be. So you just have to, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you just have to be prepared for every disruption, every interruption. So it's a matter of the mindset, getting prepared.
So tell me, your business, obviously you're in the marketing space. Is it suffering, or is it actually getting busier, or is it the same? What's the situation in terms of your business right now?
Look, frankly speaking, David, I understand, because how we see our success is our client success. That's our DNA. So some of the segments of our clients has been very much affected. There is no doubt, including 3PL, logistic, manufacturing, transport. They are very much affected right now. But at the same time, we've been very lucky. In last couple of years, we have niched the market in healthcare industry. So which means we are working on dental practices, as well as medical services and allied health. So that is going very, very strongly. Having said that, there's few hiccups in different rules, different guidelines. That's one part, but other parts is a legal side, legal or conveyancing side, especially legal sides, because people are changing the contracts, agreements, and all those sort of things. So some of the clients are really growing sort of tenfold. That just last week I helped them to open up the office in Sydney and Melbourne. So some of them are really, because obviously there is agreement issues and staffing issues, contract issues. So, and they are obviously the business. So to not sell, it's it depends upon our industry to industry, but certainly it's an interesting time for sure. Yeah.
So in terms of your team, they're all working remotely now?
Yep. And I'm a great believer. I believe on every entrepreneur, digital entrepreneur. So from the day one at Viz, we have been remotely, I have been always promoting in a remote way. Obviously, besides we have offices in overseas, including India, Nepal, and Philippines, and other side of the world as well, including US. So we have always believed on the collaborations in an online space or on that space. So, and now here as well, the team are everywhere. The last week only we closed down, and our team is working. And obviously the magic of all these systems now, cloud technologies and all those technologies.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, I know that you had some slides. You wanted to talk about your approach, because
sure.
I think what really people are struggling with is the navigation to working from home, the accountability of people working from home. For some people, it's more than that. It's really, my doors are shut. What do I do while I'm sitting at home?
Yes.
Let's run through what some of your ideas and your approach is. If you can make this work, this would be amazing. Technology. Yes. I will tell you what I've seen. I just had a guy in here before. They run a cafe, and their cafe basically is a bar and cafe, which has now been shut in terms of people can't go there. They're now doing home delivery. He's opened a soup kitchen. So every day between 12 and 2, you can go to his cafe and get free soup to take home. Right. And he's just really sort of being innovative in what he does. And the idea for him is just to get the community moving, to make sure people keep in touch and that people are able to do that as well. Right. Let's go with your slides, Prabin. So what do you got for us?
Look, this is the model which we are applying for a lot of our clients as well as internally for us in our business. So I believe on our three C's, which is communications, coordinations, and collaborations. Very simple, and it is all comes with a communication. So a couple of things while we were just talking, I thought it would be a good idea for the viewers out there to understand in communications what are the couple of points. I mean, one, obviously, I mentioned about internal, external. So internal means how you're dealing with your staff, is very important. And external means obviously you handling the situations right now with your clients and alliances is very, very important. Because obviously we don't want to, get the impressions. Even last night I was checking for one of the healthcare practitioners and some of the patients are asking, are you still open? We don't know. We have got some treatments. We need to do the treatment emergency. Are you still open? So these are some things which again comes with communication. So the idea here is to not, if you have business owners, if you have a plan of attack for survival, then the idea here is to not shut down completely, but at least you have a basic communications, which is very, very important, both internal, external.
There's an old saying, Prabin, no news is good news, but in this situation, no news is bad news. Because if we don't know whether people are open, we don't know what's going on. Even with internal communication, you touched on, I think when people are starting to telecommute, the one thing they're going to face is isolation.
Yes.
Isolation doesn't mean I've got a phone and I can ring you. It just means that the banter or the chatter that goes on in a normal office disappears. One of the things we've done internally is we run now a group huddle in the morning on Zoom.
Right.
Wow. So 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock every day for 10 minutes, we check in.
Beautiful. That's a great strategy, David. Obviously, as long as you are checking with your staff, with your clients, and supporting them in the journey, that's a very much important. There's no doubt. Now, second point, let me quickly run through. I'm a core believer on plan. You plan well, but you know what? You can't plan for 12 months. We tried, obviously every strategy we do go with a 12 months marketing plan for our clients, and then we scrap up just after the flooding, and we thought, okay, let's run with a 6-month plan. And then after that, just from February onward, even we couldn't go the 6-month plan. It's now 3 months plan. So what I would recommend to some of the viewers who are watching or who are listening here in this live streaming or in the Zoom, probably the idea is to just make a immediate plan, short-term plan, long-term plan. So what does that mean? Literally, is immediate plan probably might be 1 to 2 weeks, just short run. See how everything is, including your, including your operations, including your marketing, everything. Yeah. Short-term plan, probably you can go up to max is 1 month, and long-term plans 3 months. But we don't know anyone's situation in 3 months. I was talking with my good friend, accountant, and he said, Prabin, we don't know anything. Only I can explain, I can forecast is up to 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks. So that's where the situation is right now.
Mm-hmm. So really, like we do the same, we're talking about 1 week plans with people, and we're saying we don't know what the government's going to announce in a week's time. What we do know is what the current state of play is. So for us, it's business as usual in terms of we're still allowed to trade. Yeah. A lot of our people have chosen to remotely work. I'm going to be in the office until I'm told I can't come to the office anymore. There's, I think one of the things in Australia that's critical is that business continues. And I think, ScoMo said it quite well. He said, one of our priorities is employment, right? Keeping people in jobs. And I understand that some people are saying we should all work from home, but for some of us, it's easy. For some people, it's more difficult. The short-term assumption is as long as the doors are open, people should continue to trade. We don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah. Let's talk a bit about your next point, proactive versus reactive.
Now, going to a third point is obviously, as a business owner, as entrepreneurs, you look in any kind of the business, whether that may be professionals, B2B or B2C business, you have to grow the business, whether you have to see the more patients or see the more clientele. It's all about adding value or selling. But in this time of the crisis, what we believe is, putting off your selling hat and putting up the serving hat. And that goes really, really well. Because you're not just being as a reactive, what the situations come, but you have been proactive. The whole idea here, the name of the game is to serve. How can you able to serve or service your clients or service your internal staff? It's very important in this, rather than just shutting down and just say, hey, look, wait and see. And who knows, in a 6 months or 9 months, they may not be, and it's going to be very, very hard to come back on track. So our idea here is to, what are the couple of things, you don't have to do everything, but what are a couple of things, important things which matters for you and your business? What are a couple of things you can implement to the business and be proactive? That's very important. And as you know, David, in a difficult time like this, that's where the innovation kicks in. That's where the true innovation starts.
Absolutely.
So it is just thinking outside, thinking differently for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's easy to go into, let's just shut down until this is all over. I've got enough cash to keep me sort of happy and safe.
Yeah.
But I suppose there's a lot of things that can be done that really aren't customer facing. So things like business planning, things like development of systems, even this relationship building over databases. So people might not be spending money because they're in fear, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that they're not looking for some guidance and advice, just someone to actually talk to as they're navigating through this sort of, the stresses.
Totally, David, totally. So again, adding value purely. Now, fourth point, let me quickly say, right message in a right audience to the right time, and a right channel, which is because many people talk about right message, right audience, right time, but right channel. It's very important, especially in this kind of current situation, is right channel, because who knows, you might be thinking, look, I just sent an email to our clients. That's about it. You may be thinking, but clients might not be checking their emails. So idea here is to just use at least 3 to 5 touch points to broadcast your message. Whatever the message it is, your opening time, or your might be closing time, or 2 days a week, whatever it might be, just the right channel, which also means right channel, because many people are closing the professional services, closing even different businesses, different healthcare business, but they're not updating anywhere in Google. So people who are browsing, like end patients or end clients, they're still saying, oh, okay, this practice, is it still open or still not open? So there is a confusion. So it's important to update everywhere and give the right information to the right people in the right time with the right channel.
Yes.
And there won't be, again, there is no confusion for sure. Now, fifth tip, obviously, after this lockdown, many people are going there, attending a lot of seminars, webinars. And what I found is a lot of the speakers, don't get me wrong, they're talking, which is good. But there is nothing that, the viewers can watch or write down. So I hope, if you guys are really, this might be a good opportunity for you to write down. And I'm more than happy to share some of the top tech tools which we are using in our business as well as for our clients. Yeah. So I'll show you if that's okay, David. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So the first one is, okay. So internal communication, as you know, communication is very important. Internal, what we are using and some of our clients using is Skype, and it's very easy, internal within your staff, or you can make a Skype group. Zoom is pretty good. That's what we are doing now. And if you want to go a bit advanced, Cisco WebEx is fine, but obviously Zoom is very easy. Now Slack is also been very popular if you are talking with the staff, making sure the project is up to date or messaging them. And TeamViewer, which is widely across in different industry, including IT professional services, right? Now, external one is a lot of the time, Zoom meeting is good as long as you send the, not doing for the sake of doing, because this time is very sensitive. We are not just, asking people to come on the Zoom and do the recording and do the videos, but it is important to understand why you're doing it. So, just give them a pre-agenda, make sure that everything is very clear. The second point I want to make sure is Google Hangout as well. And now Google Hangout also for the next 6 months, they have run a free service. So if you are doing a lot of video conferencing with number of members, Google Hangouts might be something you can check out. But other than that is Skype is good external. Now telehealth, which I add, is must for the healthcare industry, including OT, mental health, speech, dentist. And right now as well, we are building a number of packages for our clients. And government have had such a good initiations on telehealth. Obviously, now we are finding out the new ways how still can healthcare workers can be in touch with patients or with their clientele. Yeah.
Can I add a few more to your list?
Please.
Telephone.
Yes, very important.
Pick up the phone and talk to people, because I think sometimes we forget that we're in a world that's over communicated at the moment, and we're using these social channels. Some people just, when you send them an email saying we're still here, they've got about 500 emails that say we're still here.
You bet.
If it's a client or if it's someone that you care about, ring them and check in. There's there's a really important aspect, which is human communication. The other one I would throw on there is through the social channels. So you've got your WhatsApp and your Facebook.
Yes.
And both of those things allow video conferencing. They allow people to actually connect with each other and communicate. But what's missing for a lot of people is they don't have this, it's not a natural tendency to communicate that way. We're so used to being able to just see someone and have a chat over a coffee or go to work and see them there that we forget that we can actually, we lose this ability to sort of chat or banter. So having open channels, like you talk about Slack, you can do that with Google, you can do that with any other chat-oriented platform. Just making sure there's live conversations where people are telling jokes, they're talking about what happened on the weekend, just continuing to have that social communication.
Beautiful. Very, very important for sure, David. And thanks for the heads up. And yeah, obviously, telephone is or the mobile call is very important to just make sure that how your family members are, how your staff is. It's just being that routine, you know, making sure that you can follow up. Okay, so I'll move on now. Other things on our top tech is cloud technology, which is really cool. Office 365, whatever the things you are using, Google Suite's perfect to add all your documents. Dropbox, you know, you can don't have to go to the office, and all those personal folders you can add there. CRM, which I believe it is important not just for the prospecting the new clients, but it is important to add the value to existing clients and the lapsed ones. So using proper, you know, you don't have to go to the Salesforce if you're not wished to, but you know, some simple things which small business can use right now, and doesn't cost a lot, but the whole idea is to just some touch points to your clients or to your patients that, hey, look, we are here, we are serving it. If there's anything, let us know. So those kind of messages, very much curing is very important as well. And other things, if you want to go a little bit further up, there are different clouds as well, including AWS, Microsoft, Google, Oracle. So these are some technologies, but at the same time, project management tools, because obviously if you have a staff, like more than 3 or 5 staff, like even in my business, I've got a number of staff working from everywhere in the world. It's going to be very, very hard, man. Not just a hard, it's almost a nightmare to maintain, to know what exactly everyone is doing. So you definitely need some project management software. And there are a number of softwares, there's no doubt, but obviously it comes with what exactly your infrastructure is, what exactly your, you know, your team is, and then there's a few parameters there. But what we have found working with a number of our clients and with us is we use Trello a lot. It's very, very easy. Again, the thing is very easy, and Zoho is also one of them. If you have a Zoho CRM, then Zoho come with a whole suite, including Zoho projects and others. And it's very affordable. I mean, under, you know, 60, 70 bucks a month, and you can get a full service. So which is, it's quite a no-brainer, really.
Well, I will say we use Asana and it's free.
Yeah, see?
And it sort of gives us everything we need. We've been using it for years. And
beautiful.
Now is even more important, as you say, when people are working from home, we need to be able to sort of understand where they are in projects, what's being done, what's not being done.
Beautiful. And I'm exploring Asana as well. I just found that it's fantastic in mobile, in mobile. So again,
if you're going to update these slides, I put monday.com on there as well.
Yeah, monday.com. Yeah. And again, it's a personal as well, whatever we are using. It's not, you know, just 2 or 3 just to make, because no point having a 20 list there. You can Google it, what project management, but just some of the things which we are doing, and glad that, you know, we can add a couple of things like monday.com or other fews. But again, it comes with what you are comfortable, what your team is comfortable with, rather than just show off for the show off. So simple is better, that's for sure. So that's one thing. Now, second point is communication. Second is a coordination. It's very important to understand how you coordinate. Obviously, many of the viewers, or, you know, some of the new viewers, you know, I'm originally from Nepal, so obviously, you know, people go to the Mount Everest. They have a goal to reach the Mount Everest, every trekker, but not everyone go to that world highest summit, because there is obviously, they need an action plan. The action plans, you know, obviously is, you know, what's your food, you know, how is the weather, how is your body climate, how, you know, how everything is, exercise, and, you know, there's a lot of things. And planning means, obviously, what do you plan? You can't just go in a Mount Everest in one day, right? There's a number of plans. You know, you need a trusted Sherpa, you need a number of people there to plan it well. So it's same applies in business as well. You know, obviously I understand we can't navigate a whole 2020, but at least we can navigate what's going to come in next 3 months and prepare well. So and it can operate in every side of the business, isn't it, David? What do you think?
Well, look, to me, like you touched on it before, and the plans that people are creating now are very short term. But it doesn't mean they're not valid, and especially when everyone's working distributed.
Yes.
There's a necessary requirement for having some meetings. And I think that these plans need to be managed through some sort of centralized system, but I think it's also important to have the regular meetings to get a check on these plans, because what's happening right now for a lot of people is that they're putting plans in place that are redundant within a day. They might have I've heard a lot of people go through this, okay, we've just got to cut all our expenses.
Yes.
And I think it's a bit arbitrary. I think it's more about strategy than it is about decisions. And what I mean by that is, unless you need to cut all your expenses, you should be optimizing, because there's some things you should be spending more on, there's some things you should be spending less on. But it's going to come down to which direction the business has gone, because I think there's 4 places that businesses are right now. First one's the worst one, where you've just been locked out and shut down. And really the only thing you can do there is salvage time, which means go home and start thinking about planning for the future, or maybe start building some sort of systems.
Yeah.
Second one is where people need to pivot.
Yes.
What I mean by that is restructure. So the bar that turns into a home delivery service, they're the sort of things that people can do. The third one is the people that really, it's just a sort of speed hump in their business, and it's generally business as normal as long as they've got the cash flow to continue.
Yes.
The last ones are the winners in the game, which are the people who create face masks and toilet paper right now, which just run off their feet. The danger for them is when the hysteria goes away, they're not going to sell the same amount of what they're selling right now. So they've got to be mindful about, scaling too quickly and then getting into the trouble later.
Very good point. Very good point.
Every person, every business has to sort of think about, what are we going to do right now?
Yes.
As you said, 1 to 2 week plan. The next one is a 1 month plan. The next one is a 3 month. Beyond that, at this point in time, is a bit naive.
Totally. So I hope that's pretty clear to the viewers. Now, other thing, collaboration, which might be a couple of tips. Obviously, there might be 100 things, because I'm a great believer in collaborating with people. So some of the things which businesses can do right now, right? Suppose, let's say if your business is, let's say, I'll just pick one industry, like let's say legal. Okay, so as except if some of the legal practices, the still some of the ads is working, but other things, this is a time where you can really sense of collaboration, which means the businesses around there might be any issues, they might have some contract issues, they might have a termination issue, they might have so it's all about going out there and saying, hey, look guys, if there's anything we can help to there, and even if you can't do physically, there is other ways. Like second point is create as we just talked, create a VIP Facebook community page, like exactly what Outcomes have done or what we are doing as well, and base. So if you truly believe, if you are truly here to help or genuinely try to care, you care about your community, you care about your staff, you care about your clients, you care about your patients. So you add, you make something separate community where you add value. And obviously, whether that may be on Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other social media platform, the whole idea, the name of the game is just be connected. You can't go and visit them, that's understandable, but at least there might be community news, they might be doing something, there might be tips, there might be what's going on really, which keeps everyone united in this time, in this hour.
I noticed a comment from Stav who talks about side hustles. Now I know Stav's in the entertainment industry, and they basically do events. Now events have been shut down. And this is one of those industries where it's really, there's not a lot of options other than building community, building relationship, and just doing something to bring some cash in the door. But the interesting thing is, for every person who's been stood down in work, the government is currently pleading for people to go and help with social security. The supermarkets are looking for help. There is side hustles that are available. But it's going to take the entrepreneur to be creative. And I think, we touched on this before we started the call. Right now, the market is calling for entrepreneurship and leadership to help us carry through this. And I don't mean capitalizing on people's woes. What I do mean is helping the community. It needs to be win-win. And I think there's people out there that have got really good minds that they've got available, but if they go into shutdown, they're not contributing to the solution.
You bet.
So how can you help? I mean, how can you help the people around you? How can you help your employees? How can you help the business next door? There's so many options for people to actually collaborate and help as a community right now.
No, I truly believe. I was actually, in fact, reading one book, very love, about entrepreneurship. People talk about I'm an entrepreneur. It's a me. But the whole idea is entrepreneur. One person can't build the whole business. One person can't build everything. So
Yeah.
it's a group of sense. It's a group of community, who is working to serve. So that's, I think, and this is a time, where everyone have that sense of community or sense of collaborations. Again, as you touched on, win. So everyone is winning, helping to navigate this crisis. And that comes to the third point, meetings and communication. I think, David, you touched it. It's very important, more than before, even in our business, before it starts, even wherever they are, we, depends upon the different projects, different units. We have a quick morning meetings. Okay, this is what we are. So it is accountable. Afternoon, we quickly touch base, but at the end, even though they send us update, or they update in the project management system, still there is a quick call to make sure that, okay, we are on the right track, or next day, this is what we're, so it means everyone is accountable, and it's more than important to be on the same, same line.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's it. Now, again, we could have, you guys, whoever is watching here, you could have done a number of Zoom sessions, and obviously David is number of things I'm doing as well, number of webinars, other things, but it all comes with what actions are you taking up. You can just simply listen and do nothing. But if you are also, write one or two things, what exactly you have add the value from these webinars. We are more than, we are looking forward to get the feedback, and it all comes with action, isn't it, David?
Yeah, I think it's not about sitting on your hands right now. Even though the government's saying go home, it doesn't mean go home and do nothing.
You bet.
You go home and start thinking about how
you bet.
we actually come out of this at the other end.
You bet.
And it concerns me that a lot of people are sort of turning to maths as their entertainment while they're at home, when in reality we actually have lots of time to think and strategize, connected to the world. So
100%.
What can we do to help the people
100%.
around us?
And it all comes with the mindset as well. You can just, I was talking with one of my mentors the other day. You can just sit down and watch, all the social media, all the news, all goes here. Yeah. Or you can, it's good to be informed, but don't be too much in a negative side, or else you can just think out, go and check out the TEDx, go out, there's lovely documentaries which will really inspire you. Check on different ones. So it's again how you optimize the time as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. It's very important, and as David touched on, leadership is all about navigating in the crisis, and that's what leadership is all about.
Fantastic.
Now, and just the last before I go, look, those viewers who are not who want to steal any help without anything, look, I'm happy to help. Anything on the domains, technology, marketing, or anything you are not sure about, any sort of the business, just drop me an email. Now, other things, just last night, government have introduced about the SMEs who are in Melbourne CBD. So obviously not just the 3,000, but within a Melbourne City Councils. So they are giving up to 5,000 on online e-commerce, as well as 2,000 for trainings and professionals. So if you want to know about the grants, either get in touch with David or myself, and see how we can be of value to you, because the whole idea of this is, getting prepared for any disruption to come in the future. Who knows, the disruption may not come, this won't be an end. So there might be in future, in 10 years time, 20 years time. The idea of the business owner is to be prepared and just get ready.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, David. I hope that's been value to a lot of the viewers out there.
I want to wrap up on just one thing. That I was talking to a psychologist just before we got on the call, and he was looking at this as diabolical from a mental well-being point of view.
Yes.
And I said, so how do people turn something like this into something good? And he said, this is the question he left me with. He said, how can you make this into the best thing that's ever happened to you in your business? How can you make this into the best thing that's ever happened to you in your business? And that's a thought process, okay? Because sometimes we look at it as the worst thing that ever happened to me in my business. And that's not an empowering thought, right? And so wherever everyone is in their business, the question that I thought was really interesting is, how can I make it the best thing that's ever happened? For some people, it'll be pivoting. For some people, it'll be retirement. Yes. I don't know. I think every individual will have a different answer to that question, but it's much more empowering to ask a positive, constructive question than what am I going to do?
You bet.
How can I make it the best thing that's ever happened to me in my business?
You bet. Now that's a great point. Now, just on that note, someone just messaged me here. Um, what is your perspective on how the post COVID-19 business environment might look like?
Uh-huh.
So, interesting perspective. What do you think, David?
It's a good one. I suggest that it's hard to say exactly how long this is going to go for. What it has forced people to do is to actually look internally into their business and clean up a lot of mess. So people are going through cash flow, they're going through, right sizing, they're going through how do I add value without being face to face. I think the other side of this crisis is going to be a re-emergence of business with a totally new perspective on how we work with each other. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know that the people that are willing to give this a go and to ride through this will survive. Some people that are not going to make it because they're right on the edge already, and if you're hanging on by your fingernails and things like this come along, it's game over. But some of those people will just go into retreat for a while and re-emerge. So I think it's, someone put it down here nicely, awesome opportunity to pause, retreat, reflect, reboot, and reinvent.
Beautiful.
What I do believe, though, is for those people that are entrepreneurial and those people that are abundant thinkers, this is just the opportunity to take it to the next stage.
You bet. And just if I can add two things. Obviously, this is a time, when people can't able to navigate. They are very confused. There is no doubt. Yeah. But this is a time where, all comes here. All comes with a mindset. If you think, look, it's going to collapse everything, better shut down everything and just find the job, to be honest, because to be honest, being an entrepreneur, getting a job, creating jobs is not that easy unless you have really core why are you doing what you're doing, pretty much, going back to Simon Sinek. So mindset is very important to have the right mindset there. Now, second thing, obviously, sometime when you are in a mousetrap, you can't really realize it, what's happening. So it is important to have a right mentors. And I'm a core believer on that, or a right influencers or a right alliance who can help you, give you a feedback genuinely. And that's where you can navigate these kinds of the situations. Yeah, David?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think, it's like a big reset. I think as the imagination said, we've got an opportunity here to start on a competitive field with everybody. Everything that was business a week ago is changed. And for those who think it's going to come back, I don't know if that's realistic at all. I think it's going to re-emerge as something different. So if we treat it as opportunity to move forward and to get better, I think that's the winning solution to this, Prabin.
You bet. You bet. Now, any other questions for those viewers, if you have anything? So there is another question, David, for you, please.
I don't know. If anyone's got any questions, to chuck in the chat window, and we'll just sort of start wrapping up. So here's an interesting one, just for you, Prabin.
Yes, please.
What are the personal lessons you've taken from this, you personally? What's your observations about what have you learned out of this current predicament?
Look, my personal, because nothing, I'm just reading one book right now, The Power of Now.
Yeah.
It's a lovely book, actually. How can be you are in a zone? How can you be, in focus? And again, it comes with a mindset. So I think it's very important what goes, there's so many things going outside, but it's important to understand what goes inside, because, insides is the thing which cures all outside. So I think this is, I think I'm realizing more now, and especially after, I haven't finished the book yet. But this is something I'm going. So it's a way how you navigate through and an opportunity to learn.
Thank you. Look, I think the title says it all. They say the point of power is in the present.
Yes.
Right now, we can't think about what the future is because we don't know. But what we can think about is what can we do right now? What can we do today?
You bet.
And as long as people are focusing on what they can do right now, I think that's going to give them the answer that sort of can move them forward.
Very true. And mind you, a lot of the Olympics athletes, a lot of the high-end, high performance people have done it. Because even if you look, some of the magicians, when they're on the rope, they don't think about the past. They don't think too much about the future. They are just there on the present. Yeah. So it's important to be in the present, to understand what's going on. And then you can truly enjoy with your quality time with your family, quality time with whatever it might be in your business. And that's the sense of satisfaction.
Excellent. Fantastic, Prabin. Look, thanks so much for your time. I know you're busy, but it's been really important just to get some insight into what you think people can be doing right now. Obviously, people can reach out to you if they need your help, if they want to ask questions about marketing, or even just pick your brain and about, you know, what it's like in Nepal, all those sorts of things.
Always, man. Happy to add value. Happy to serve the community. There's no doubt on it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, man. Good stuff.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you, man. All the best. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.